Okay. Firstly, how are you doing, Toad? I know you've had a busy day today.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty wiped out. But yeah, excited to see this. It's gonna
Yeah,
be good.
perfect. All right. I'll guide things. All right, guys. So beta build is coming. We have actually been adding, fixing, adding things a little bit. So things have taken a little bit longer. But at the end of this week, I will have the build. I will be sending it over to the guys at Gaming, and we are going to start fixing an actual date in March. I don't expect there'll be much time lags or anything. There's really, a lot of work's been going into this beta at this stage, so we're excited to get it out. Now, the first thing that part of the reason why we reached this delay was, I was, researching different games, etc., what other projects were doing, and obviously airdrops have been very hype recently, and it's obviously also a very good way to get people to, initially download the game and interact with it. So this is why we delayed things a little bit so that we could add in this feature. And the idea is, yeah, it's a treasure hunt airdrop. So how does it work? The first step is you just download the game beta on the Gaming launcher. And the second step is you link an NFT and your player ID. So the NFTs that you're going to be able to use, the Gamesters are obviously our NFTs. These are going to be eligible. But then we're going to have quite a wide range of partner NFTs that are going to be able to participate in this. The rules I kind of followed was so that there would be a minimum price of around $40-50 per NFTs, but there's NFTs on BNB chain, on AVAX, also ETH. So yeah, we're just getting a good spread of different projects that and who can showcase this game with their community and give value to their NFTs. Part of the reason why we decided to do it this way is for security reasons. It's we don't want to at this stage with the system we have, we don't want to lengthen the release of the beta for other things, but we also don't want to have a system that's open to everyone. The reason why, like the beta will be open to everyone, by the way, anyone can download and play, but the actual treasure hunt will only be for people with NFTs. This solves the need for us to go and work out a lot of security things, which we would need to have in place to make it open to everyone. And how does it work? You go in game and you find the relayers. You then get these codes and you have to input them into the actual DApp. Once you input all three codes, so there's one code on each map, you put it into the DApp, and the first 2,000 questers who do this win an ARCAS airdrop. The actual amount of of ARCAS is will be determined a little bit later on because it really depends on when we announce and what the price is at that stage. Let me quickly share the game screen now so that you guys. Perfect. All right. So this is the latest progress of the beta, guys. I want to show you the actual in-game treasure hunt. So I'm just gonna drop into a match here. We still have the same three maps. There's been a lot of optimizations. Really, a lot of work has gone into both the level design of these maps. So we've removed kind of annoying little parts where maybe you'd fall and get stuck. Also, we've eliminated bugs, etc., and worked a lot on the optimization of the game as a whole. And we've gone and hidden these relayers inside these maps for this treasure hunt. The story behind the relayers, actually, this is a perfect picture to showcase. The idea is that we're on Arcus, the ape homeworld, and there's this ancient ship from BAS, which is correct me if I'm wrong now, Toad, the Bureau of Astral Sourcing is the acronym that we settled on. And
Yep.
and yeah, there's just these hidden relayers, so they're computers, and they're scattered across the maps now, and yeah, you know, we're basically inviting people to download the beta, to look around the maps, to really see what the world looks like, and there's really been an incredible amount of work from Marco and the BVM team, as well as Gaetano. So really, you know, heads up to them for making this possible. Whoops. Okay. Whoops. Sorry about that. That was a mistake. Sorry. I need to find these relayers. So this part can take a while, guys. But if there's any questions, are there any questions up until now, Toad?
Not yet, no. I think people just in awe.
Nice.
So you're just
yeah,
gonna have to play until you find it.
The game is looking good. Yeah, I mean, Marco hid these. I don't want to spoil it.
Well, I'm assuming you can move one if you find one.
Yeah, we also added in this tooltip so that, you know, when you're falling, now people who maybe don't know about the chicken glider will know about it. We also changed the mechanics a little bit on the glider. Before they only drop down, now there's kind of like this jump effect, which is pretty cool. Then we obviously still have the double jump. Let me think. Where is it? Yeah, we've also got these really cool totems that Mark has been working on in terms of design that you'll see weren't here in the alpha, but I really love this. It just looks real fun, and it obviously feeds into the lore and makes the game, you know, it adds depth to this world that we're building here.
Some proper character in the game.
Yeah, there's two, like these character skins. They've been in the works for quite a while. They're also pretty optimized in terms of performance, and yeah, they just look great. So I can't find a relayer on this map. Let me change map. Sorry, guys. I found them. I didn't ask Marco for the actual locations. I figured I'd find them myself. So let's go on black market now. Any questions so far? I'd love some questions.
Yeah, just a recap on what the relayers are and what the codes are.
Yeah, so as I was saying, we are on Arcas. This is like the ape homeworld. We've been dropping a lot of the lore on how, you know, the world came to be the way that it is, and the story is that there was a spaceship built by BAS, the Bureau of Astral Sourcing, and the idea is it was coming over to Arcas planet in order to extract Bastonium. This is kind of like our, you know, secret. What's the best way to put it? Like secret metal, like precious metal that is both super technological but also very dangerous for the apes. So part of the lore is that after this spaceship crashed, no apes were allowed to go near the location site anymore, and as such, we don't have the spaceship here right now. We only have the relayers, which are just pieces of the spaceship. And when you approach them, you get to see a secret code. And when you then insert that secret code into the DAP, you complete the quest. I am still looking for them. But once I find them, like, this is all time for questions, guys. I'll touch into the next things later. But
it's one relayer per map. Is that right, then?
yeah, exactly. There's one relayer per map, but the locations change. So you're not always going to find them. Here's one though. So okay, here's the experience. Once you find the relayer, you can approach it, and as you approach it, it shows you this code. Everybody's code is unique, so you can't take take my code. But yeah, like once you get the code, you will then be able to input it on the DApp. I won't yet demo the DApp, but it'll be very straightforward and simple. And when you get all of these 3 codes from the 3 different maps, and you put them in, you complete the quest. If you're one of the first 2,000 people to do this, you win a prize. Another cool, fun thing that we added is the ability to blow these up. So if you're in a match with some friends, also trying to complete the quest, and you find it, you have the option of either telling them where it is and bringing them to the location, or you can just shoot it, and they have to everybody in the map has to wait till next match before they can do that. But it's up to you whether you choose to do that. Okay, let me just get out of here and get back to the presentation.
You're recording this, Dan.
Here. There's like a cool. I believe I forgot to record it actually. I don't know if we have someone else recording right now, or whether I can activate this.
I'll check in with Philippe.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm not recording it right now. Okay, let me switch back to the presentation. Windows. Perfect. Any questions so far on, okay, how is the net code going to work for beta circulation again? Yeah, so right now with this beta, that's a very good question. Right now, people are not going to necessarily have very good ping. We are using peer-to-peer matchmaking. So right now it's still self-hosted. If you're in a close location to your friends, etc., you're going to be able to have low ping with each other. Also, a key thing. Let me jump in and show the menu. You can essentially see, anyone can create their own match. You can only participate in the treasure hunt if you play a match online. But let me just show so that you get an idea. Second. Okay, here we are back. When you go and join match, right now there's actually no matches, but you're going to be able to see the game map, and you're going to be able to see ping, right? So if you create a match, and then not only does the Epic Games social sign-in work, it's not working right here because I'm running the game from inside the editor, but once we get the build out, you'll actually be able to use Epic Games to invite friends to your match, etc. And then here you can visualize ping, so you can make sure that you either create your own match and then obviously other people can join it, or you join a match with a low ping, and you make sure that it's playable. But thank you, that's a very good question. Let's go back to the showcase. Okay, so sorry, I'm just reading up on the questions. When does the event start? This treasure hunt event will start with the release of the beta. As I explained before, we don't yet have a specific date. We are now this week for sure. We have the final beta build, and then we need to basically discuss with the gaming launcher. They need to do some troubleshooting, etc., on the build, and then we can confirm a date. We've already discussed this, for months at this stage, so we don't expect any delays. But we are also dependent on them. They have to actually roll out an update of their launcher. So, once we have that date, it'll be announced, and then alongside that, the actual start of the event. The event finishes obviously once the 2,000 quests are complete, although anyone who jumps into the game can still participate with the treasure hunt. We'll explore potentially having other rewards in future, but right now it's really just the first 2,000 get an ARCAS airdrop. Yeah, you must find 3 codes in the 3 different maps. Yeah, no, there's 3 codes across 3 different maps. Inside the DApp, it'll ask you to submit 1 code for each map. Yeah, thanks Toad for answering that. And okay, let me move on to the next page. Marketing. Okay, so obviously right here I've covered the beta. I've shown you guys how things work, and I've explained the treasure hunt. Obviously, we're doing the treasure hunt as a way to reward the first people to test out the game, and obviously get feedback, etc., and also get people involved in the ARCAS community. So alongside this event, we are planning a big marketing push. This will get us, a lot more exposure for the project. Once we show the actual game, we get people playing, we get user-generated content and stuff. And yeah, expect that by the end of March, a lot more people are going to know about ARCAS than right now. So, everybody here is early. Obviously, market sentiment is also excellent for the release of this beta. And yeah, we're really looking to capture the attention of Web3 gaming. So when we talk about marketing, the first thing that we are looking at is content. As you can already see, lots of work has gone into the actual brand identity of the game. This has been a lot of work on Marco's side alongside Christian, and we're pretty happy with where we are right now. I mean, I think it looks really cool. The way that Marco has created this very cartoony style for a game, and yeah, so we have updated graphics contents that we're going to be using across our socials. We're going to be focusing on the ARCAS Champions social. This avoids any confusions with regards to the project. Then content-wise, we are also working on a fresh landing page, which we're going to be rolling out with the beta release. That fresh landing page will be on arcas.blockapescissors.gg, and it'll be focused around ARCAS. It'll showcase the game, and it'll really represent the brand identity of what we are. And then thirdly, we are also going to have a light paper document. This document is going to basically, recap the project itself, recap everything from the gameplay over to the skill staking system, over to the user acquisition strategies that our skill staking tech enables us to do. And then also go into roadmap, team, tokenomics, etc. So you expect a lot of content to be released over March. That is really going to showcase the entire project, the entire ARCAS project, the beta and gameplay. Another thing in the pipeline for content, obviously, are more cinematics. Less so more cinematics, but more gameplay content, obviously with motion graphics and some hype music to really build hype that we can also share in terms of marketing across the space. I believe that's most of the content stuff covered. The second thing is creators. This is both creators and KOLs. So we've spent a lot of time networking, having some discussions, etc. And we're definitely going to move forward with creator marketing campaign. This is actually in partnership with Owned, and it will really as I said, a lot more people are going to know about ARCAS after this marketing push alongside the beta. But these are some of the top Web3 gaming creators in the space. Some of them have been OGs in the space for a long time, and they're going to be sharing content for ARCAS Champions, and for the beta treasure hunt. So yeah, we're really excited about that. We're really excited to get more feedback from everyone, from the entire Web3 gaming community, and to showcase, what we've been working on up until now, which we're really proud of. Right, the game is really looking good, guys. And lastly, communities. I'd explained earlier that for the treasure hunt, we are going to have a process of linking an NFT with a player ID. The player ID, by the way, you can find in game. And we're going to be able to use the Gamester NFTs. Obviously our community still has these, but then we are going to open this up to a number of other NFT communities. For example, the Lil Pudgies, we're definitely going to let them participate. Also, communities on AVAX, for example, Dokyo, Cozyverse. We're still, refining exactly which communities we're going to put in, but the idea is that they'll be eligible. So if they just connect to our DApp and they have an eligible NFT, they can just link it with their player ID and then participate. The reason why we do it this way is so that we can then airdrop the actual NFTs, and it just ensures that the system is a lot fairer in terms of who can get in. We also don't want it to all be botted, and yeah, it also ensures that the people getting in are probably people who are invested in Web3, and we don't expect a lot of sell pressure from it. What we are really looking for is loads of exposure, right? It's a way to invite, over 10 communities to play out our game. This doesn't mean that everybody in these communities is going to come through, but it does mean that, anybody from those NFT communities is going to at least check us out. And then a subset of them are going to jump into game, and we hope that we give them a really good impression at that stage, and then they not only join our community, but they also talk about our project and game in their own communities, and this also will really spread the word of ARCAS across the Web3 gaming space. Okay, I've said a lot of things. Are there any questions so far?
Hallie's asking about how we are going to keep people interested in the game. Are there more treasure hunts planned? Because the treasure hunt seems fairly easy.
Yep. So right now, our goal is not so much to retain players inside the game. It's really just beta right now with peer-to-peer matchmaking. Sorry, that might be just a very technical term, but peer-to-peer matchmaking is similar maybe to old school Call of Duty, etc. And we can't basically do leaderboards or anything fancy with this system right now. So for the time being, we're going to keep this treasure hunt, pretty simple, but we expect that by bringing people into the actual game, we're just able to kind of retain them because it's fun, right? And this is part of the long-term strategy of what we're doing. We don't expect people to, we don't expect them to stay in the game and play for hours and hours. At this stage, it's more about jumping in, and that there's enough content in there to definitely keep players playing for 3 to 5 hours, and then obviously as part of that is this treasure hunt, and then they're essentially part of our community and hopefully excited for the early access later on in Q2. With regards to keeping people interested long term, obviously we're releasing this beta in March. Then there's also the beta build 2. That beta build 2 is going to have more features which allow us to look at running some tournaments potentially, or more interactive events such as game nights, where potentially we get people, maybe somebody headshots me and then they win prizes, etc. We're still early on in terms of doing that, but that second update, we will likely, right now I'm just being straightforward, we will likely have that ready in May. So in May is when we can start, having some more interactive systems to keep people playing over time. There's also a partnership and integration there, which we haven't yet shared, but we'll be sharing that soon, and that should be excited. Exciting. Okay.
So,
Sorry, I'm just reading some of these questions
yeah,
here.
Nick's asking what NFT communities have already been green flagged for access.
Yeah, so there were a number that I had green flagged. There obviously there's our Gamesters, there's the Lil Pudgies that I mentioned. Then there were also the Pancake Squad NFTs on BNB chain on AVAX. Then there was Dokyo, Steady, Cozyverse, etc. There's a number of them that we had already green flagged. However, in the development process, we have to make some considerations with regards to which NFTs are better supported by existing APIs, which ones are not so supported. This will, this will have an effect on the development process. We don't want to code something custom for every single NFT collection. This would just take too long. So there is going to be a filtering process. Likely, what's going to happen is the newer, maybe lesser known NFTs are probably going to be less supported by the APIs that we use. Sorry, by APIs, I mean just pre-made software that we can use to pull in stuff like images and information for NFTs instead of having to code everything from scratch. There's a lot of systems out there already, but not every single NFT is supported by them properly. As such, yeah, the full list will be released next week. Right now, there's some adjustments. I also got some feedback that we should really also involve ETH-based communities. Initially, I left those out, mainly due to the fact that we don't want to airdrop them on ETH, but we could easily airdrop them on BNB chain. So that's actually not a problem. We don't need nobody who has an NFT is going to need to interact with a smart contract to partake in the beta, right? We don't want to lock NFTs in smart contracts or anything complicated. It's really just connect your dApp. If you have an eligible NFT, you're going to be able to see it. Once you select it and you bind it with your player ID, then you can start off.
Nick is also asking whether or not beta access will be exclusive to NFT holders, or whether or not it'll be more broadly accessible.
Yeah, the beta is accessible to everyone. The way you sign in is through an Epic Games account, and literally anybody can participate in the beta. It's only for the Treasure Hunt ARCAS Airdrop rewards that we have a limited, like we have a capped amount of ARCAS that we're willing to give out for rewards. And yeah, I essentially decided that 2,000 was the right number. Both in terms of the actual value that people would get out of the playing the game inside, and just a good number of people to give rewards to. And then obviously, and everyone who comes in afterwards, or anyone who plays without the NFT, they won't be eligible for the ARCAS, but hopefully, they still like the game. Well, we know that they're gonna like the game, and then they stay involved. There are obviously going to be other opportunities for people to win ARCAS tokens. As I said, stuff like game nights. We're going to be starting game nights after the beta release. Then we'll over time look at different ways in which we can interact with the people who come to the game nights and do mostly token giveaways for fun stuff like, oh, you headshot myself or Marco. Here you get some tokens, or you did a cool skill shot and you posted it on Twitter, and then you tagged us also there. Potentially, we're going to have different competitions and stuff to reward our community. Question about skill staking. I will get around to that later on. I just want to cover the treasure hunt and marketing questions. No rare NFT drop yet. That's it will take some time to see those things. Okay, let me keep moving. So, okay, we have the beta and we have the treasure hunt. As I said, alongside that, we have a big marketing push in March. And this is really the main focus of the project right now. A lot of that obviously is, sorry, I didn't touch on this before, but with regards to community marketing, this also involves finding new communities of investors and token holders, right? This is obviously a big focus, especially in this market, to meet new communities, to introduce them to what the ARCAS project is, to what the ARCAS token is, and to how the ecosystem is going to reward holders over time and what the model is there. So coming next, after the beta, what do we have to look forward to? The first thing is a skill staking testnet. Right now, we have a demo version of Skillstaking, but it's very raw. And I've been thinking about various upgrades, etc. And these are things that we're going to put in place over the next month or so. And then in Q2, we hope to release to you guys as on a testnet so that you guys can get an idea for what Skillstaking is. And then we're also going to have stuff like bug bounties to help ensure that this protocol is secure. We're open to getting feedback from you guys, and we're going to look at a potential airdrop strategy that rewards people who interact with skill staking testnet and who provide us feedback on the protocol, on the user experience, on different bugs, etc. This is obviously very important for us to do in Q2 ahead of the release of the actual protocol. For those here who are new and who don't know what skill staking is the Web3 protocol that we have been focusing on developing for the game ARCAS Champions. Inside the ARCAS Champions game, the user experience is going to be very simple. Users come in. If they want to get a more premium experience of the game, they can buy a champion for $9.99. This can be thought of similar to a battle pass. The champion gives value to the player mostly for the in-game use, right? It allows the player to customize their gameplay, to level up their champion over time, and to bring more than one champion into a match. You can only play as one champion at a time, but if you have more champions, then you can basically switch them out and change change your gameplay build whilst in the match. This is useful if your current champion just doesn't match up very well against your opponents. And yeah, so having said that, then there's also cosmetic skins similar to Fortnite skins that will look at selling, but still priced for $9.99. All of this revenue will be collected on chain in the ARCAS Treasury DAO. Apologies, not all of it, but a percentage of it as the revenue share. We as the developers will also take a percentage ourselves. This is to keep operations and to keep us growing the development team of the game. What then happens with that revenue that the DAO controls? That is then revenue shared out to the players based on how high their rank is. So how it works is you buy a champion. Sorry, one of the things that we are working on content-wise is a very good diagram to explain skill staking. This is something that I've been thinking about for quite a long time in terms of how to best visualize things. Yeah, these champions that players own, what we do with them is we start writing the actual rank of the player and their champion inside the NFT. This is really a unique thing that we're doing, and in terms of narratives can be thought of like an RWA. I think that rank is probably the most important gaming RWA for esports. I think that it's really one of the most important data points. If you look at, for example, Dota 2, and you look at how Dota 2 esports teams scout new players, they're always looking at MMR, i.e. matchmaking rating, i.e. the player's rank. This is one of the key data points for esports. We write it on chain, and then we pay out the actual revenue share or the dividend of the game profits on a variable basis based on that rank. The effect this creates is that the players who are the most competitive inside the game and who stay relevant over time, they are the people who will offer the highest yield to the token holders, i.e. the ARCAS token holders. So this kind of creates a system where those token holders will stake those players, and in doing so also transfer governance power to the players. The effect on the players is they're inside the game, they've spent $9.99 and they've ranked up inside the game. At this stage, if they've been skill staked, they see their champion prestige go up, which is basically their voting power or their influence inside the game. And then they also see US dollars just trickling into their account, right? Our system is built so that the actual player and user doesn't have to do anything Web3 at all inside the game. They just sign in, they make a completely standard purchase, and then they focus on getting to know the game, on getting to level up, etc. And once they start moving up, then they can also invest in Arcas and skill stake themselves, or obviously the idea is that it's permissionless. So anybody, anywhere, as long as they're pushing up their rank, could get scouted by any of the Arcas token holders and get staked and slowly, start growing to try and reach professional esports. Any questions on this so far?
Yeah, so Fishing in the Oven is asking, what's the feedback been like from the streamers you've discussed it with? What do they think of skill staking?
So we haven't had so many conversations with regards to skill staking with streamers specifically. We've had this conversation with a number of people in Web3 gaming, and the feedback so far has been very good. Part of the feedback is also that esports teams are currently in difficult situations with regards to their existing business models, and so they're very open to looking at Web3. If you look at what's currently been happening in the market, there's been Xi, which they listed on Binance a few months ago, I think. They are partnered with Team Secret, one of the biggest teams. Then, well, actually, in Web3, there's Noun Esports. I believe that they're actually performing very well on the global scale in terms of esports. Obviously, there's Gaming, who that they're a Web3 project in the sense that they're building a Web3 launcher using deep-in technology, and they have NFTs on Solana, etc. But they also have one of the most famous esports teams in the world, and I've had a conversation with their Fortnite manager. I've shown them the game, and there shouldn't be any issues with them representing it. However, it's still quite far ahead in terms of where we are right now. So we haven't yet gotten feedback directly from the actual streamers. We've more gotten feedback from various developers in the space, various people working in the Web3 gaming space. We've been on a number also of Twitter spaces with other projects and presented the skill staking as a concept, and yeah. So yeah, sorry, I'm just reading what you're saying here. Yeah, exactly. Like there's the main idea that players that we want to explain to players is that skill staking, the actual system, what it's saying is it's saying, okay, the token holders are effectively shareholders in the game. Then the players, obviously, they're almost agents in the game. They're playing, they're battling, and we have rank as a way to determine the quality of those players. This doesn't mean we discriminate amongst them, but in terms of who should have then influence in the game, we believe that the highest ranked player should then be delegated that governance, and that the actual shareholders of the token, they can only access the dividend of the actual game by delegating the governance to a player. Obviously, if you think that you want to vote on things yourself, you can just buy a champion and skill stake yourself. That is always an option, and that is part of the beauty of the system. And then, yeah, another key thing to explain, the actual power to players mechanisms that we have been focused on developing and looking at are actually partially inspired from sentiment analysis that we performed on the actual players. What sentiment analysis? What we basically did was we wrote some code that pulled a lot of the comments that professional Fortnite esports pros have made on their Twitters. We basically have an AI which ingests those things and which extracts, what the negative comments are. And at that stage, we were able to, I myself, thanks to Tox, I'm not sure if he's here, but shout out to
Yes.
Tox in the community for helping me out there. And yeah, there's some interesting things in there. We'll be doing more work like this, but that already creates the initial list of actual esports players who we are going to approach for this. We plan on doing this after the actual beta release. We still have a lot of months and time to showcase everything. Okay, sorry, yeah, this was the question about skill staking. So skill staking will only be accessible through the DApp, and on the DApp you won't actually see specific game mode information. Initially, you're just going to see the actual rank value of different players, and obviously a higher rank will just correlate to higher yield. You're also going to be able to see histories, etc., but not so much the specific game mode. Inside the actual game, however, upon release of skill staking, we only plan on having skill staking for the current elimination mode. This is because it's likely to be the most balanced one right now in terms of just getting kills. But then we are working on Banana Fever. This is our custom game mode where there's a lot more, I guess, a lot more thought and work going into it. We'll definitely be releasing a little bit more information around what Banana Fever looks like alongside concepts. But the idea is it's more objective-based gaming, right? So you jump into the match, you need to find the bananas, but then there's one player who has to run off and find like a walkie-talkie or a radio. This can kind of be thought of for those of you who are fans of Harry Potter, like Quidditch, right? You have the main team that's running around collecting bananas. Then part of the team is protecting the vault, where you go and store bananas, and then you need to have that kind of jolly character or two players. We'll figure out exactly how many players makes the most sense that need to run around the map and find the little radio. So yeah, you keep finding bananas, keeping them in the vault. Then the enemy team can attack your vault to rid the bananas. But once you find the radio, you can call in the helicopter or the balloon and extract your bananas, and at that stage they're safe in your hands. So that's the idea, but we'll only get around to releasing that game mode with the early access. We plan on actually finishing the code and all the work and assets for that game mode around June, and then yeah, slating that release for afterwards. But skill staking itself, sorry to go back to the question, it will be relevant to any game mode which is ranked. So the idea is that first there's only the elimination mode as ranked. What we want to do is move the Banana Fever mode into ranked once the players find that it's balanced enough, right? We don't want to push a game mode that is potentially extremely imbalanced and stuff up there. And yeah, then over time, the more game modes we can push into there, those all affect rank, and then we have leaderboards. Initially, the leaderboards will just be based on rank. Depending, over time, how many game modes we add, which game modes the players like the most, etc. Then we'll probably look at developing separate leaderboards. But from the skill staking point of view, it will just be a a single system. If in the future we find that it makes more sense to track rank for different game modes, we can make that adjustment. But we'll get around to that side later on. Champion Prestige. So Champion Prestige is tied to skill stake. This is how we've been thinking about explaining it in game to players. So the idea is when you're just like a normal player jumping in at the start, getting a hang of the game, you won't really be interested in what Champion Prestige is. You'll more be interested in unlocking the different guns, customizing, playing the different maps, and then maybe trying out ranked and stuff. At some stage, obviously, we expect players to reach the stage where they're going to want to purchase an actual champion so that they can customize their gameplay a lot more. And at that stage, once they own that champion, they are now eligible to be skill staked. And in the moment in which they do get skill staked, either they can skill stake themselves or somebody else can skill stake them. They will start seeing their champion prestige go up. The more champions you have, the higher you can have your champion prestige. This kind of affects how much you can vote in game on various things. Obviously, a key thing to consider is that you need to be competitive with your different champions, which could have different builds in order to sustain your rank and to sustain the yield for your investors who are skill stake under you, right? So we don't expect that system to be gamified that much. Obviously, we're worried about cheating, but we aren't worried about a single person controlling everything, right? It'll be very hard for them to compete against everybody with loads of different builds all the time. What kind of decisions will high rank players be involved with the vote system? So as I mentioned, when we push out a new game mode into casual, it only gets approved over to ranked by the player council. So that's the first one. Secondly, what we want to have are monthly weapon buff and nerf votes. So for those not familiar with those terms, we would essentially look at systems to increase the power of certain weapons, abilities and stats, or to decrease their power. And we would do this based on player feedback in order to make sure that we have a very balanced game. Although obviously we still retain the control on adding new features and on making decisions ourselves. But then we essentially give players the power at the end of every month to say, okay, we think that you should. They're going to vote. Every player is going to vote. So over time, we'll see where most of the votes are, but then we'll make adjustments. If 80% of the players vote to, for example, nerf a certain weapon, and obviously over a month we can see what the effects are, we can make that adjustment, etc. Like this is one of the decisions that we give them. Then another thing will be, for example, deciding on tournaments. We haven't discussed this side so much, but obviously we want to have some tournament structures for the players inside the game that boost rank, but also that offer token rewards. Those those tournament schedules will be votable by the actual players. So to summarize, players will have the ability to vote on game modes, whilst giving us the game devs freedom to build cool stuff and research and try and bring new things to the players. They will also have adequate systems to give them ownership over the game and to not make it feel like the game developers aren't listening to their feedback. Secondly, obviously, weapons, stats, abilities, giving the players control over things not being overpowered or being weighted in one direction too much. And then tournaments. And to explain a little bit, part of the reasoning behind why we decided to have these controls is based off of that analysis of players. And over the next few months, over the course of the development of the game, this is a key focus for us to understand, what kind of controls we can realistically implement for the players. We believe that initially less is better, right? Initially, because of the team, because of the way the project works, etc. We will offer a little bit less control and then add things over time that make sense instead of overwhelming the player. These are already, very new controls and ideas that we're bringing in. And we also expect that the actual skill staking mechanism will work very well, just for especially the pro gamers who will understand that inside our game, right? They get a native revenue share based around being competitive, which is something that they aren't getting in any other game anywhere else. And this is obviously a key value proposition that we're going to be bringing them. And skill staking is also a value proposition for the esports teams. The idea that I'd like to present to esports teams from the actual business perspective point of view is that a model where esports teams are crucial, obviously, to bring players and to bring exposure and to cultivate a competitive environment for the game. This has been proven to bring in loads of players. That there's a huge subset of gamers who are interested in that competitive loop, in really just trying to push up their rank against each other. And yeah, so the idea is that those esports teams, they would own skill staking tokens. And what that means is that they would be shareholders in the different competitive games which they participate in. And obviously they would have teams for all those different games. And the way that it would work is they would skill stake across our DApp to their different players, eliminating the need for a lot of contract work, right? This is part of the beauty and what I personally believe the blockchain is useful for. It just automates so much of these business processes, and it basically says, okay, I'm an esports team and I'm a shareholder in this game, and I'm just going to skill stake you. So in 2 clicks, boom, you've been staked, and now you have champion prestige, right? So you have influence in the game, but you're also earning revenue share, right, from your rank. And this is a cool feature which I think the industry will really like, and it's really a win-win for everyone, right? For in terms of our game, it gets esports teams invested, and it gets them really involved in the actual game. The players have an excellent incentive to one, add value to the game through voting. Two, it gets them more involved as almost community leaders inside the game, right? Because it makes sense that if the players through skill staking are earning revenue share, it will automatically incentivize them to create as much content as possible, to work hard, to bring in other players. Because the more players we bring into our game and into our ecosystem, obviously the bigger revenue share is split. Obviously, the more people there are, the more it's split. But everybody gains from growth within the system. And if the system stops growing, it doesn't become unsustainable either. This is a key thing. Obviously, if the game stops making revenue because it's not fun anymore, it's a problem. But the actual system doesn't require continuously expanding user acquisition. The niche that we're targeting initially are PC-based Fortnite and Smite players who are interested in esports. This is partly why we want to launch on the gaming launcher initially. But yeah, I hope that explains a little bit of the idea with how esports teams would operate with skill staking.
Yeah, that was pretty comprehensive.
Perfect. Any approximate when the launch will be? Yeah, it'll be in March. exactly. We're just waiting on the actual partner before we give a specific date. And then in cryptography implementation of ZK snarks, we haven't really done much with regards to ZK snarks. I'm aware of what they are, but they are not really part of the ARCAS Champions game. We could potentially, as someone, yeah, I mean, I understand them, but yeah, like right now, they aren't really a part of Arcus or Arcus Champions. I'm not too sure what. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Whether we ever released anything regarding implementation of them, but yeah, that's not in the game. And I haven't yet gotten around to key partnerships. But this is also something which I've mentioned before. We've been in a number of discussions. However, given that we're releasing the beta right now, and given the exposure that we're expecting in this period from the beta release, we prefer postponing working on some key partnerships to later on, because we expect that we're going to be just in a better position in terms of already having the beta out there. And also, yeah, we aren't yet committing to a lot of the, when I say key partnerships, as I'm sure a lot of you guys in the space have seen, a lot of games partner with chains. This is, I feel like it's almost that same model with regards to games and publishers. Before, chains are acting like publishers, and this makes a lot of sense in terms of helping games scale and attract more players over time. But yeah, with regards to actually narrowing down a chain, I know I'd mentioned on previous calls some different chains, but with where we are at right now, it makes more sense to go full steam ahead on the beta release to try and get as much exposure to the project as possible, and then to make a decision on the specific chain and partners that we choose over the long run. Okay. I think
that ties up all the questions.
Yeah, let me just go on the last slide, which is really just questions. Let's see, any more questions, guys? I know it's really about an hour right now, so I'll maybe answer 2-3 more questions if there are, and then we'll close things off.
Silence from the floor.
Nothing right now.
Okay,
this is
got one in the pipe.
Yeah, this is the okay. I get what you mean. Yeah, this ZK snark element was this article was back in April, and yeah, it's really not very relevant at all anymore with regards to the current direction of the project. Really, like we've been through a lot of stages. A lot of you guys have been with us for some of you guys have been here for the last 3 years. There's been various pivots, ideas, etc. over time, but the real focus right now of the team is building Arcas Champions, the actual game, as well as skill staking, and just focusing our energy and resources on this experience. Okay. Well, guys, thank you to everyone for coming. If there's any last questions, really right now would be perfect. Else, yeah, I mean, we're always in the chat. Always happy to answer anybody's questions anytime that they come through. Toad has really just been been doing an amazing job in there. So shout out to you, Toad. Thank you for always being present.
All good.
And yeah, we'll be releasing, as I said, more content around a lot of the things I've touched upon. As I said, light paper to watch out, as well as a teaser trailer of the actual beta release, that we're gonna look to share as much as possible. And then there will be more comprehensive information surrounding how the beta treasure hunt works, alongside a video that I'll shoot myself once we have the DApp up and running.
Basically, March is
Thank
looking
you.
big.
Yeah, March. I mean, the market is looking real good, guys. And yeah, I mean, we kind of all thought, this was gonna come. Bitcoin halving is in April, so I don't expect the market to slow down. Obviously we've gone up a lot, and who knows exactly what's coming next, but yeah, hopefully, like we start seeing a lot more interest, external interest, lots new people coming into crypto, learning about the benefits of the systems that we're building, and looking to get involved with projects, with games, and with adopting the technology. Okay, I see some people are typing. I will just wait, and depending on what it is, I will end this. Okay, it's Toad. Thank you for turning up, everyone. Thanks again, guys. Great to have you here. And we will have another community session in 2 weeks. We're going to have another Telegram Tuesday. So that will be when I offer the next updates. Really, though, any questions, we're always in chat. And as I said, a lot more to come, guys. Really look forward to getting your ideas on the beta when it's out, and yeah, jumping in game with as many people as possible, because it's been a long time coming.
Thanks for going through it all, Dan. It's awesome.
Yeah, thanks to you, Toad. Cheers, guys. I'm gonna end it here. Perfect. Have a good evening, everyone. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.